This Good Morning Northwest morning sprint is brought to you by Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning.
All right, it is 6:53. Let's get you ready for your Wednesday here in the morning sprint.
Ariel Drayton is live with details on Spokane's very first Halloween Expo.
Mark has your forecast to help you plan for a rainy day ahead.
But first, we're following the latest on Israel's war against Hamas. Let's get to Sydney Charles with the details.
This morning, Israel continues to hammer Gaza with airstrikes. Gaza's main power station has stopped working, meaning that the Hamas-controlled territory is now officially without power. The number of people killed is now more than 2,000 on both sides, including at least 14 Americans. President Biden is condemning the Hamas terror attack on Israel as, quote, an act of sheer evil. Up to 150 hostages are believed to be held in Gaza. All the latest developments on the war in Israel are coming up next on Good Morning America.
In Washington, D.C., members of the House say there is bipartisan support for sending Israel emergency assistance, but nothing can get voted on without a House Speaker. House Republicans say they hope to change that by electing a new House Speaker today.
Idaho Governor Brad Little is honoring those who lost their lives in the attacks on Israel. He ordered all flags at state and federal buildings across Idaho be flown at half staff until Friday. He released a statement saying, Idaho stands firmly with our ally Israel. We wholly support Israel's defensive actions against the terrorist actions of Hamas.
As we look at our First Alert Weather, and that First Alert Weather app still updated and free in the App Store, we're going to see afternoon showers coming through. That's going to take us through dinner time. After that, we should see it get better, or drier, I should say. 55 will be our high today, 54 into Coeur d'Alene. We're going to be in the low 60s on the east slopes of the Cascades. Over the next 12 hours, it's going to be afternoon showers, noon to 3, noon to 4, where we're going to see the most prevalent scattered showers.
Well, one person was hurt in a shooting on the corner of Garland and Nettleton in northwest Spokane. Spokane police say it happened at around 8 o'clock last night. At least one person was taken to the hospital. This shooting is still under investigation.
The majority of Spokane County commissioners reaffirmed their intention to support Measure 1 at a public forum last night. Measure 1 is a proposed sales tax increase that would help fund a new jail. People supporting the measure say a new jail is necessary to support victims of crime. But those against Measure 1 are raising questions about how the money will benefit criminal justice efforts, pointing to previous studies that show incarceration does not fix problems. If voters approve it November 7th, the sales tax will go up by 0.2%. That money would fund the new jail as well as overall criminal justice efforts.
People whose homes were damaged in the Gray Fire made their voices heard last night alongside one of the lawyers filing a lawsuit. Singleton and Schreiber is a California-based law firm that specializes in fire litigation. It's one of 2 firms that filed a lawsuit against Inland Power. Their lawsuit claims Inland Power failed to inspect and remove nearby vegetation and negligently designed and constructed their power lines. Gerald Singleton says by filing the lawsuit now, they can start the process of discovery.
This November, Spokane voters will decide on a new camping ordinance called Proposition 1. If approved, it would ban camping near schools, parks, and daycares in Spokane. This interactive map of Spokane was made by a professor at Eastern Washington University. The areas that you were looking at in color are places where camping would be banned in the city. The gray spots would not have a camping ban. Supporters of Prop 1 say the ordinance will protect children and people who use public areas like parks, but opponents say all this is doing is moving the homeless population into different areas and away from resources. We have a link for you to check out the map on KXLY.com.
The Halloween Expo is a fun 2-day event for you and your family to come out and enjoy over 100+ exhibitors that'll have everything you need for Halloween under one roof. Take a look at your screen. I'll give you some details about the event if you plan on attending. At the event, they'll have decorative booths, costume contests, local artists, makeup demos, and you are able to explore those 100+ exhibitors. This will take place at Spokane Convention Center on October 14th to the 15th.
And according to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, Washington ranks number 6 in the country for food insecurity. A new woman-owned small business called 4 Roots will give out boxes packed with farm-fresh fruits, vegetables, grains, and proteins for families in need. Those items are sourced through farmers here in Washington. This morning, the group will hand out 232 of these boxes. It's happening in Spokane Valley at the Reclaim Project Recovery near Sprague and Steen. It's happening from 10 until noon.
Lane closures on I-90 between Cheney and Sprague continue today. One lane in each direction is closed while crews do things like install new power light poles on some interchanges. The project is expected to last 2 weeks. We'll check in one more time with weather after this.